Hello Mustard Seed kids, welcome to our front room. It's felt a little bit more like a TV studio this week, I have to say, because I've been recording lots of videos for my job, for school, to teach my primary ones. So it feels a little bit like a front room, but I'm also getting very used to filming myself sitting here in this chair. And you can see I've got a couple of friends behind me who've been helping me with the children's learning too. Anyway, this week we're continuing to think about our values as a church, as Mustard Seed Edinburgh. Our values are kind of the ways that we want to live and the ways that we want to encourage other people to live, both as people but also as a whole church. And our 5 values at Mustard Seed are kindness and hospitality, which we've heard about already in the last couple of weeks, creativity and joy, which we're going to hear about in the next 2 weeks. And today we're thinking about this value here in the middle, justice. It's a bit of a tricky one, this, a challenging word to understand. So can I suggest, like Wendy did last week, I'm going to encourage you to pause the video just now and have a little chat as a family about what you think justice means. Welcome back then. We've had a little chat here in our group and we've got 2 ideas. Now I wish I could hear your ideas and what you've been talking about, but we've got 2 ideas. Leon the Lion here has been saying that justice is about punishing people when they've done something wrong. Is that right, Leon? And Mr. Bunny here has been saying that he thinks justice is more about being fair and making things equal for everybody in the world. Let me think about Mr. Bunny's idea first. So we know that life can feel very unfair. I'm sure that all of us, at least once in our life, have said, that's not fair. And we know that our world is full of lots of people who don't have homes or don't have enough food, and life is really unfair for some of them. Now, Jesus tells us a lot in the Bible that we need to look after the poor. That's why at Mustard Seed we run Soul Food. We give food to people who need it to try to make things just a little bit fairer. I wonder whether you could think of a way that you could help Soul Food or another charity that works towards justice. I know that quite a few of our Mustard Seed kids have got parents who work for charities that bring justice. So it'd be great if you could have a chat with mum or dad and think about what you could do to help. What about Leon the Lion's idea then? Punishing people for things they've done wrong. Now, this gets a little bit more complicated, doesn't it? It is important for everybody to do the right thing. If you're a grown-up and you don't do the right thing, then it's possible, if it's really bad, that you might go to prison or you might have to pay money to the police. Or if you're a little person, then you've maybe been unkind to your brother or sister, or you've not listened to one of your parents, then you might, I don't know, lose some pocket money or have to sit on the naughty step or, heaven forbid, go without pudding and have to go to bed early or something like that. But although the Bible does talk about this kind of justice and people having a consequence for doing the wrong thing, God also talks about forgiveness. He's really interested in forgiveness, which is continuing to love and be kind to people even after they've done the wrong thing. I want to remind you of the story of a man called Zacchaeus. So this is a story about the life of Jesus, and we find it in the book of Luke in our Bibles, chapter 19. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. And he was wanting to see who Jesus was. But on the account of the crowd, he could not, because he was small of stature. He was short, in other words. So Zacchaeus ran on ahead and climbed up a sycamore tree to see Jesus, for Jesus was about to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So he hurried and came down and received Jesus joyfully. When everyone saw it, they all grumbled. He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood and said to Jesus, Behold, Lord, half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold. Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to his house, since he is also a son of Abraham. The Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Now, I love the story of Zacchaeus. I think it's brilliant that he climbs a tree, and I think it's wonderful that Jesus chooses to go and eat with Zacchaeus. And I think the story shows us both of the kinds of justice that we were talking about earlier. So Zacchaeus has to pay back the money that he shouldn't have taken from people in his town. So in some ways, that's him being punished, and in another way, that's him having to make things fair and equal. And Jesus encourages that. But that's not the only thing that Jesus is interested in. He doesn't just make Zacchaeus pay the money back and then leave. Jesus sits down and eats a meal with Zacchaeus. He shows him kindness, one of our mustard seed values. He accepts Zacchaeus' hospitality, another one of our values. And Jesus shows him forgiveness as well. So I think this story teaches us a lot about what God thinks about fairness and about justice, because it's not just about making things right in the world, although that's really, really, really important, but it's also about showing mercy and forgiveness to people who have done wrong as well. So I've given you a challenge earlier in the video. Perhaps you could think about a way to help an organisation or a charity which is working for justice. And I do think that lots of you could talk to your mums and dads about the work that they do in that way. And perhaps you need to think about yourself as well. Maybe you want to recognise that you've done something wrong and that God can forgive you. It's the most wonderful thing that God is willing to forgive us all the time. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.